Here. Hopefully we're all on YouTube. Hopefully we're all streaming. Hopefully I'm streaming. All right. Tonight I want to cover Inner Reflections workflow that I saw on Civitai last night. Inner Reflections. Go to her channel. There we go. That's not the one. I mean, this is the channel to go to if you want to learn about animation with AnimateDiff, ComfyUI, all these things. Just great stuff. I noticed that they posted a workflow and a guide last night for doing AnimateLCM, which is something I've been messing with a lot lately. So I figured we'd try it out and see if we can get somewhere close to the same results. So the link to this article is in the description below. If it's not there, I will paste it also here. And follow Inner Reflections on Twitter. It's I have a link for it here somewhere. Is it not in here? Oh no, this is right. Twitter. I got too many browsers and too many windows. But yes, this is Inner Reflections Twitter right here. And just fantastic work. Always pushing the boundaries with AI video. So yeah, follow Inner Reflections and let's get into the workflow. If you guys are unfamiliar with ComfyUI, check out one of my earlier streams. There's a million of them on how to set things up. There's a bunch of YouTubers who are really good at explaining, kind of better than me at explaining things like that. But yeah, we're going to go through her workflow here and see what up. So, yeah, latent consistency models, they're basically like, they're like stable diffusion models that get to the point faster than other models. So you can render stuff in 6 steps or 4 steps instead of 25 or 30 steps. Latent consistency models have existed for some time within stable diffusion. The main benefit that they were designed to have is the decrease in number of steps, therefore the generation time for images. It's been applied for AI video for some time, but the real breakthrough here is the training of an AnimateDiff motion model called LCM, AnimateLCM, which improves the quality of the results substantially and opens use of models that previously did not generate good results. This is true. With the AnimateLCM LoRA that's available now, you can basically use any SD15 model and LoRA and IP adapters combination that you like to make fantastic looking animations. So yeah, it's really wicked. So let me kill Steam here. Bye-bye. Okay. They attach the workflows to the thing, so we're going to check them out. But here's all the stuff. If you need to download it, it's all at the top of the page. They explain where it goes, what it does, what it's for. We'll open up the workflows and talk about it, as we look at it and see how it works. And you guys can sort of see my process of just looking at a work. So I haven't looked at these workflows yet, so I'll load them up in ComfyUI and we'll see how they work. So here they are, workflows. I saw them at the top. Oh, I think I have to do it. I think you have to be signed in to see the workflows. I'm not signed in on this Civitai, but I am on my other ones. So I'll drag it over here. People on Discord won't be able to see this one, but yeah, it's just follow along on YouTube. There's nobody on Discord anyway. Perfect. All right. Yeah. So yeah, go through here. If you have any questions, this will sort of answer all the questions you have about AnimateLCM and stuff, so I won't have to cover it as much. But yeah, so let's grab the LCM Vid2Vid 8 steps muted upscale. And LCM Vid2Vid 25 steps. Okay, let's see what this one is. Grab the first one. So I already have Comfy running. So I'm going to minimize this, go back to my Comfy window. I'm going to open a new tab, and I'm going to go to the Comfy URL, which is 127.001.8188. Clear, and get myself a fresh thing, and just drag that workflow from here into Comfy. You can also load it too from your downloads folder if you want. Okay, everything's nice and spaced apart. Let's have a look at it and see if we can figure out how to use it. First things first, we need to go through and make sure all the right stuff is selected, because it's always based on whoever made the workflow, based on their folder structure and what they have the files named. So don't freak out if they're named something else. We can just change it. No problem. Sorry, I don't mean to keep yawning. I just had a coffee. I don't know what's wrong with me. All right. Let's start at the beginning. We're loading a video, so I'll get a video to load. Width is 1024 by 576, and the upscale width and height is 1080 by 720. Motion model, make sure we select the T2V beta one. That's the one that you download from the link at the top. We are going to use, let's use the same realistic vision. You can use whatever model you want for whatever look you're going for. We'll use the same VAE. We'll use the same AnimateLCM LoRA. Prompt, that's fine. We're going to just run everything the way it is. Apply AnimateDiff. Yep, these are all normal settings. Oh, they're using LCM average. That's interesting. I haven't tried this one yet. Maybe it's better. Regular K sampler and LCM SGM uniform mode. CFG of 2.2. Interesting. And 8 steps. Okay. Video combine. Idle output. This is all the upscaler over here. Okay. I'll use depth. Depth anything. Okay. Let's grab some footage to turn into a bodybuilder. Maybe somebody dancing. Sort of my go-to, I know. Videos. Hey. How's it going, Pro Sage? Hope I said that right. What's up, Tron? What's up, Frank? It's a party. All right, who are we going to turn into a bodybuilder? I'm thinking... maybe too much skin. I'm just worried that it'll do something NSFW, which I do not want on stream very badly. Yeah, what's this? This person turns around. I do like this clip. Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of interested. Let's try this one. 1280 by 720, download. Okay, so we got the file that we're going to use, and we're going to have a look-see. So we're loading video from a path, so we're going to right-click on the file we just downloaded and copy as path. And then just paste it in here. Frame rate of 24 frames per second. We're going to, force the size to 512 height with hidden width. With calculated width. We're going to select every frame, and we're only going to load the first 24 frames just to try it out. Make sure all that stuff is set up. Yeah, just scroll back to the beginning of the thing, Pro Sage. I did a overview when I started. Start percent, end percent, 16.13. Sample settings. Yep, that stuff's all good. Depth. We're going to do the ControlNet here. And then, okay, so as it runs, we'll go through what it's doing. And we'll see if I missed anything. Yes, I've actually had this error quite a few times with this video loading process. It's something up with this node. I'm just going to do it a different way. So we have to just look and see where this goes. And we know that it goes to all these places. So we're going to create a reroute. We're going to plug the reroute in everywhere that this went. So now we need to find this last one. Where does it go? Depth anything. So this reroute will again plug into depth anything. So we're replacing all the outputs from that original video path here with this reroute. So the reroute is going to go to all the places we want. So we can plug a different node in here because this one is broken. We're going to do a VHS nodes load video upload. Yeah. We're just going to upload that video that I just downloaded, which is right here. And then we're going to plug that into the reroute because the reroute's got everything. That way, if we need to use a different image loader, a different video loader, we just swap it on out. So force rate of 24, force size of what I said before. Question mark by 512, which means it's going to be a variable width by 512 pixels high. That's fine. Frame load cap, that's how many frames we're going to load into the buffer, which is just 24 for now. We're going to skip no frames at the beginning, and we're going to select every single frame. And I'm actually just going to pop an NSFW and nude into the negative prompt because we are on YouTube, and yeah, I don't want it. I don't want it. Okay, and I think that should unbreak it. Okay, so we just loaded the video. We can see the frames that it loaded. So we're going to get this much of the video. It's upscaling the image and feeding it into the VAE encoder. That's going to make it the every frame of the video will become the source frame that it dreams on. The model is plugged in through AnimateDiff and the LoRA loader, which loads up the AnimateLCM LoRA. This is all normal basic stuff here. And then these settings here, the width and height, they're set here so that you can plug them into various nodes down the road and only have to deal with this in one place. So yeah, pretty clever. Here we can see what our depth map did. This is the depth map preprocessor using depth anything. It's really good on humans, really fast too. And here Inner Reflections is using a depth strength of 60%. And it's ending the depth halfway through the run. So it's gonna use the depth to help drive the way it looks for the first half of the run, and then it's gonna let it dream wildly for the last half of the run. Let me turn on my turn on the previews so that we'll be able to see what it's doing here. Then it looks like after it's done its first run, it's going to go through the VAE decoder, and we might be able to see, yeah, we'll see it here. And then we'll see the video combined, so we'll get to see what it looks like. I might adjust these settings a little bit. Did I break something? I never got this far, so we'll see what it does after this. So let's see. Wow. That is impressive. All right, did it fail and why? Are you bypassed in some way? Let's try that. I think that was like maybe bypassed. No. Ah, wrong. Yeah, okay. So let's try this pixel perfect one. There we go. So yeah, I had the wrong upscaler selected, so you just need to select your upscaler. And now it's upscaling the images, and then it's going to run that through, I think. Using all the same stuff, all the same models, basically the same settings. Nice workflow. So that's pretty dead simple. It just takes an input video and a prompt. And I mean, let's look at the input video beside the output video. And remember, we only got the first 12 frames of this. But that is just crazy. Look at even the background. Unbelievable. All right. Couple things I want to do. This preview image is nice, but I prefer to use a VHS combine. Video combine node. That one. Because then I get a, motion. And then if you uncheck the save output, it won't save these previews. So you can use these to preview image batches as videos. If you just unselect save output. And I want to do the same thing here. I want to replace this preview image with one of these. So we can see what the depth map looks like in motion. Same deal here. I want one right here. We don't need to save the output, but it is nice to see them. Oh, you know what? Maybe we should I'm going to undo what I did there because saving these frames maybe isn't the worst idea. Although I think it did just save them all as ComfyUI 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you might want to do some stuff here. One thing you can do with these file name prefix things is if you want to make a folder for each like project and stuff, you can actually add a string concatenate node. Not that one. This one. And then this can be your path and this can be your file name. Then you can actually change path. So anywhere you're saving these files, you can plug this string in. You just change file name prefix to an input, plug this string in, and then change A to an input. And then plug something into A. So like an integer, or not integer, string, simple string. So now when I want to name these projects, I can be like, this one is, bodybuilder C or whatever. And then this is, slash, we'll call this like image sequence, right? So it's going to make this folder, and then because there's a slash in front of it, it's going to put that. So it also, Comfy has like name and a date structure as well. So you can, I forget what the wildcards are, but there's some wildcards you can use to have it like organized by date, and you can also organize by minute. Date is good because like, everything you made that day is then in that folder. Wow, that's pretty amazing. So let's do a longer run. We'll do 96 frames. I'll do it at double speed too, because why not? And let's try a figure skater is doing an advanced routine in an Olympic ice skating rink. Let's try it. All right, so where we load our video, goes through. Now we can see our preview of what it's going to make. Load all the stuff, go through the prompt, head over to the ControlNet. It's going to create a depth map for all the frames. Then we'll get to see that depth map here in motion. Yeah, for real. I know what you mean. Man, this depth anything is so good at humans. It's crazy. Oh yeah, another thing. When you load these workflows, if you get a whole bunch of red nodes and stuff like that, just go into your manager and hit install missing custom nodes. All the stuff that you're missing should show up here. You can just install them one by one. Yeah, restart and then close this, and it should go back. So if you want to add more styling and stuff, you can use different checkpoints. You can plug different LoRa's in, and there's also this cool thing called the LoRa stack, where you can bring up multiple LoRa's, up to 3 in each stack. And then there's a node called the apply LoRa stack. You just feed your model through it. And now I've got 3 more LoRa's, et cetera, et cetera. Clip as well. Clip. Then I got 3 more LoRa slots here that I could put under my LoRa. So like, we're still loading our LCM one, but then I can pop on any other SD15 LoRa that I want to run on this. And so on and so forth. But we don't need it, so let's bypass it. Well, looks like a figure skater to me. I don't know what an auto tagger is. What's an auto tagger? You got a link for it? So this is taking longer because it's a 96 frame run instead of the 24 we did the first time. But, let it go. Make a coffee. Relax. What, are you busy? You got stuff to do? If you got stuff to do, you wouldn't be here hanging out with me. How to influence the denoise of the latent with K-scaler? I don't know. Oh, so you run that on the input video? That's a cool idea. I think I saw that workflow on Banadoko. Maybe we'll cover that another night. That sounds like a whole thing. Nice. How to influence the denoise of the latent with K-scaler? What's a K-scaler? How many BPS are you pushing? Auto tagger, you can make a prompt scheduler to change the eyes. Yeah, right on. Yeah, that's a cool idea. K-sampler has a denoise value. The advanced doesn't have it. I think that's what the return with leftover noise is for. Don't you send out to a different K-sampler for another run? Like this is the K-sampler with 0 denoising as far as I know. Wow. This is incredible. The unadvanced K-sampler is like, I think you don't bother using it for upscales for that reason, but I'm not entirely sure. I need to do more research before I start shooting my mouth off, stuff like that. Let's make sure I did everything right. So I am blown away by how much better this looks than mine, and I have a feeling it might have something to do with that right there, that LCM average beta schedule. I've been using this LCM beta schedule. I hadn't tried this one yet, but damn if it doesn't look great. And maybe this repeated context is the right noise. I haven't tried. Is that the default? I don't know. What's the secret sauce? I mean, these look incredible. Incredible. Totally blown away. That's so trippy. Yeah, OpenPose might be interesting. We can try that. I'm just blown away at what it's getting with just the depth. Like, holy cow. OpenPose won't help with the front and back thing though. It'll just, but it might help with the body movements a bit. Yeah. I probably won't upscale because, you know, don't really need to. But I am going to run a film node out of here. Set it to 2 and make another one of these and drop that out at 24 frames per second. Nice and smooth. And I like to set my CRF to 15. I know they're larger files, but they look better. Film. All right. And yeah, I will probably I know there's a bunch of ways to bypass these nodes, but do it the zip Discord DM. The zip? No, just the link to the thing is cool. So when I want to add a stopper, I usually add just a reroute to the model on the upscaler, and then I just, you know, unplug it when I don't want to upscale. It will, this time it's still gonna upscale, but after this run, yeah, we'll bypass the upscaling just for brevity's sake on the stream. It does look great. The upscale looks awesome. I just have a feeling it's gonna take a really long time. Meantime, let's add OpenPose to the mix and see what it do. All right, so we add a second apply ControlNet, and we just pass the clip through it, the conditioning. That's ControlNet works on the conditioning path. You just add them into the path as you want more. This was depth anything, so we're going to add a DW OpenPose estimator, that right there. We're going to take the image from that reroute that we made, throw it into the preprocessor, right? And then we want to take this, do the same thing as we have up here to view it. And then that goes into the image of this, and we need to load a ControlNet for it, and we're going to load the OpenPose ControlNet. Goes in there. All right, so let's clean these up a bit so I don't go crazy. Okay, cool. So on the next run, that should work. And might skip this. Do 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 do. Oh, my computer's exploding. Apologies if I get disconnected here. That might be too many frames for the old upscaler. Oh, it's working. GPU is getting hammered though. Oof, 16 gigs of VRAM for the upscale. It looks like it is staying under 16 though. 15.3 is doable. This decode is probably going to hit 23 gigs though. Great job keeping it under 16 gigs. That's amazing. This workflow is fantastic. I might rearrange it a bit so it's more like mine just because that helps my brain a little bit, but this is really well laid out if you want your stuff, you know, far enough away that you can understand where everything's routed. But yeah. Let's just try and set it up like more linear so we can see it better on the stream here. Encoder. This upscale goes to here. And then this stuff. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. You don't need these. That was just for illustration and upscale. Cool. Video upload width and height. Scale width and height. AnimateDiff loader, checkpoint loader, VAE loader. You can actually probably pop this LoRa loader down here too. There we go. That helps my brain a little bit. Prompts. Inputs. Outputs. put everything a little closer together so you can see it when I'm zooming around here. All right. Okay, this is working. It's staying below 16 gigs of VRAM, which is fantastic. And 10 steps taking about 10 minutes for 96 frames at very high quality. That's not bad. The only other thing I might run in here is a face restore right here after the image. This thing here, face restore CF of model, the face restore model. And then you would just basically run this through here first and then into here. And we don't really need the frames. And I'm also going to make a film. Same process as before. Another one of these, film here, and scale video film. There we go. So yeah, if you're just joining us, we're taking this input video. We're using this workflow by Inner Reflections to depth map it and then dream over top of it. So it's a woman jumping down and dancing down a concrete stairwell. And we turned it into a figure skater dancing down ice stairwell, which is really dangerous, I think. But it looks cool. And we didn't have to harm any actresses, which is great. It's ideal, really. OpenPose, I'm actually going to crank right up to 1. It's pretty good, 100%. At 100%, yeah. I know it doesn't look like Inner Reflections workflow because I moved everything around, but I just did that so you could see all the settings and stuff on the stream a little easier. But yeah, great setup. It works really well, really well. Yeah, not tonight. Isn't this fun? This will be the part of the stream that's fast forwarded in my new condensed versions. So yeah, if you want to go back watch these streams, I've just uploaded every stream as a condensed version where when I'm not talking and just playing with nodes or rendering something and just staring blankly at the camera, the stream speeds up 6 times. So it's like fast forwarding through all the boring bits. It's a great way to watch the stream if you want to catch all the tips and tidbits, but you don't want to listen to me yammer like this. So yeah, they're all there in a separate playlist, Creative Exploration as like episodic, like condensed episodes. And then I'll leave the full streams up with the chat as well so that you can see all the stuff that I'm referring to in real time. And then if you're missing a section or if it goes too fast in the episodic content, you can just go check out the full stream, try and skip to that same part and see what we did. But yeah, I mean, most of the time when I'm not talking, I'm not doing anything explainy. So usually I'm just cleaning up nodes or just watching something render or, you know, reading something else for the stream. So yeah, I went through a whole bunch of them and condensed them all with this really cool Python tool. It's called Unsilence. And it basically, yeah, you can set it up however you like, but it was the best way for me to do it because editing, you know, 150 hours of videos probably just wasn't going to happen. If I'm being honest. But yeah, they're there. You can watch them. They're a lot shorter. They're about half. They're about like 50% as long, which is funny. Yeah, half the time I'm just sitting here staring blankly. All right. Where are Toasty. Can I install my installed node list for reference? You don't want to see my installed node list. It's LOL. I think I have everything. In the process of testing stuff for this stream, yeah, I have 52 of them. Excuse me. Sorry. So the ones I use the most would probably be ControlNet Auxiliary, IP adapter, plus VLM nodes a little bit. Lately I've been using it more because, it just came out. Motion Director I'm going to be using a hell of a lot of soon, and I'll be teaching how that once I learn it. Advanced ControlNet, obviously. AnimateDiff Evolve, obviously. Chris Tools, I really like because it adds all these awesome... that's not it. Adds all these wicked little indicators here on the side to tell you what's going on with your computer, and you get this nice little thing at the... Oh, it's done. Interesting. Did some weird stuff on the edges, but of her body, but still pretty cool. That's great. But I am going to bypass the upscaling for now, and that's here. Models bypass. Okay, let's try a different prompt, and I'll just get one running while we talk about the rest of those nodes. Let's try a skateboarder competing in a skateboarding contest at a skate park in California. So, actually, here's the other thing I'm worried about, because my DW pose has been broken and it is still broken. So, yeah, I might not be able to use DW pose on stream tonight because it is just intensely slow. Something's broken with it, and it's going off my CPU instead of my GPU. It's ONNX related, and it's just a whole dependency whack-a-mole nightmare that I don't feel like investigating. It's not that bad. Let's just let it run. You just got to get through 96 of these. Normally this goes like brrr, and it just rips through these, but because it's using my CPU as fallback because the ONNX thing is broken, this is going to take forever to do the OpenPose calculation. But what this will do using the GW pose estimator is take that input footage, and instead of making a depth map, it'll make a skeleton where the person is for each frame. And hopefully that'll help with the, diffusion. We shall see. Yeah. So, yeah. Definitely download the workflow. Definitely rearrange it to your heart's content. Put the things wherever they make sense to you. My workflows have been called claustrophobic, or maybe a little scary, or maybe a little close together. But I swear the reason I do that is so that you guys can see what's on the nodes when I scroll through them, because nothing annoys me more when you're watching a stream or something and you're just trying to copy some settings or something and you just can't see them. Yeah, very frustrating. So yeah, I just try to keep it all sort of on the screen, and hopefully you'll be able to see the thing you need when you're going through the stream and catch that setting that you're looking for. Yeah. That's a lot easier to do when you can see all the nodes every time you sort of pause. And for the streams, I also try to put everything that happens in linear order from left to right so that you get an idea of like all these things. Now, some of this stuff, like this is probably technically should go here, and this one should probably technically. Sometimes I put stuff underneath other stuff because it's easier on my brain. But yeah, if it makes more sense for you to have stuff so you can actually see where they go in the correct order and stuff, do it. It's good for your brain. The like this should probably be over and this should probably be here so that I could see all the stuff, like but you get used to remembering what things do and how they're connected, and over time you'll just end up putting stuff wherever it makes sense for you. Got to be about halfway through now, at least, maybe more. Yeah, I do want to try to squash that bug. I don't know what's causing that. It's very annoying. Maybe we can figure it out. I know it does complain at the beginning. What is it mad about? DWPose, user warning, onnxruntime not found or doesn't come with acceleration providers. See, this is what I used to get. Here it is. So let's try. Yeah, let's grab this and let's Google it. What do you say, Google? Typically, it means a certain Python library, onnxruntime GPU in our case, requires a different version of PyTorch CUDA than the one you have installed in your system. Hopefully, this article will guide you through setting up and running multiple versions of PyTorch CUDA on your machine side by side. Yeah. For example, if you run the following command in PowerShell window in your project directory, you might see this. Yeah, okay. This looks like a nightmare. Okay, I'm just gonna YOLO this one and see if we can fix it for the next run. And what I will probably do is end up decimating my Comfy install, but we like to live on the edge here. So yeah, now we got our DW OpenPose. It's kind of flickery. We'll see. We'll see how it do. So I guess one of the things I want to say about things like this ONNX error, that wasn't too bad, man. I googled an error message, and literally first or second result was probably the correct answer. Now I just need to do this stuff, right? So yes, it's scary, and yes, it might try to derail your brain a little bit, but just push through. There's almost always an answer. There's almost always someone else has already been to there, already had this problem. The only time you run into stuff where that maybe isn't is when you're testing the brand new stuff that's coming out like that day or, that week. Usually people haven't, come across all the walls yet, but, by now, things like this, the errors like that are usually one Google away. Prompt was a skateboarder, I think. This should be interesting. And then when this is done, we're going to try and do this in the Comfy environment. Where was it? Here. So in order to do this, we need to use the, so you change directory cd into your Comfy folder. And when you want to access pip and stuff for Comfy and you have the portable install, you actually go to Python embedded and then in there, python.exe-m pip and then your command. That's so that it accesses all the Python stuff in your Comfy virtual environment. If you make these changes in just your regular environment, it's probably actually not going to affect Comfy when you go to restart it again, because Comfy doesn't usually look at your local directory for anything, like your local install for anything. This is obviously, unless you have it set up somewhere else, there's different ways to set up Comfy, all that, but yeah. That's the main thing is, where are we? Can I make this bigger? Python embedded Python underscore embedded / python.exe from here. So you can actually see that in your Windows Portable folder. There's a Python embedded folder, and in that folder, there's a python.exe. This is the python.exe you need to run to edit your environment, run these things in your Comfy environment. Power users, I know this is no-brainer stuff, but this took me a little while to understand. So yeah, I'm going to spend some time on it. So when you see stuff, oh, I need to fix this, so you need to install this. When it's talking about this virtual environment here, we don't do this like this style anymore. It's a different style of environment that it comes with now. I think this is probably very old. 3 months ago. Maybe not that old. Oh, whatever. We're going to try it. We're going to try it. We're going to try it. How are we doing? Done? $20 gigs on the encode. That's rough. Yeah, if you're using Anaconda, then probably none of this applies to you because you already know what you're doing. Nice. We're skateboarding. Looking forward to the interpolated version. Should be nice and smooth. So yeah, this was our input footage and our output footage. And we're just interpolating the smooth footage now. I had ControlNet aux break on me the other day. Could not get the node list to import. Have I run into that issue? No, but I did have an issue like last week where I couldn't connect a Hugging Face for anything, and it was incredibly annoying. Nothing would install or work. That is crazy looking. I need to add the face restore stuff to this. Yeah, this section here. Only added it to the end. So that'll come out of the decoder into you, and you. So we plugged it into the film input, the video combine input, and the save image input. And we're going to grab that same, we only need to load it once from one node. So we're actually just going to take the model loader out of this and plug it into both face restore nodes. We can just leave it with either face restore node. If I'm right, this should be the same thing, and it should just run the face restore. Nice. All right, we'll see if it makes a difference. Kind of. Helps a little bit. It works better when the faces are closer to the camera, but still. Incredible. That's an incredible video to video workflow. Yeah, Reactor's cool too. Do you know which models you need for Cascade? The Cascade thing, I just installed the Kajai one. And then when you run it the first time, it just downloads all the models it needs. So I'm not even sure. Have they added it to native or something? Yeah, I've only tried this one, the wrapper one, and it just works. We can play with Cascade for a bit if you guys want to see it. It's pretty cool. Oh, they're adding it tomorrow? Neat. That's exciting. Cascade's hilarious. It's like a meme machine. Oh, there we go. It's done. Yeah, not bad. Smoothed out the face a little bit, but it didn't make it better. All right. Yeah, that's the whole workflow. I mean, we covered it. Video goes in, prompt goes in, awesome video comes out. Upscale if you want. Obviously, this will not be on my Discord because it's not my workflow. It's by Inner Reflections. Make sure you check out their Twitter. It's amazing. They do amazing work. Inner Reflections. Where are you? There you are. Yeah. This is the video that made me want to do this workflow. I mean, come on. So good. Look at that. So cool. Oh, my audio went crazy. Hopefully that's not playing through. No, good. Yeah, so definitely follow Inner Reflections. I'll drop their drop it again here. Drop it. Boom. There we go. And yeah, definitely look at this. I'm pretty sure this is Hotshot, but like it's incredible. Definitely recommend. Oh, and I believe they have a YouTube as well. Inner Reflections AI. Yeah, right there. Boom, boom, boom. There's their YouTube. And you can check out that Star Wars video and all that other stuff right here. Full quality. And yeah. Follow Inner Reflections. All right. What else? That's pretty much it. I don't know what the 25 step one is. We can try this one. See what that does. I feel like this one's going to take forever. I'm going to save this as Inner Reflections modified. And we'll load up this one. 25 steps, video to video. LCM at 25 steps? Really? That seems high. We got to try it though. All right, same thing. Let's make sure all the right models are selected. We want the T2V beta. We'll use the same realistic vision. It was doing us great. Same VAE. Make sure we're using the same LoRA. Make sure we'll have to do that whole thing we did before. Do the reroute here. Plug the reroute into everything the image was doing. Boop. Boop. Is that all of them? Nope. Boop. Okay, so now you're only plugged into here. Perfect. So now we can get rid of this and let's add a load video. Upload. Let's we can do the same one, I guess. Yep. And we're gonna do that same thing where we do it twice the speed, 24 frames per second, force the size, and do a frame cap of 24. It's a 25 step thing. Oh, there's Inner Reflections. Oh, just do the same workflow to 25. Yeah, that makes way more sense. All right. Oh, your upscale was already doing 25. I see. Yeah, it looks crazy. But you're saying on the even on the first run, it helps a lot. Let's try that. $25. What should we do for a prompt? A fuzzy teddy bear is running through the forest. The forest is on fire. So this should only do 24 frames, so it'll be nice and fast. Do you also get the bug with the low video path, or is that just me? Maybe that's just me. This workflow is linked in the description below. It's by Inner Reflections, the person who's talking right now. Yeah, if you go to the description, it's like it's linked there. Civitai. It's right here. I'll link it again. Badoop. And the workflows are, you have to be logged in to get them, but they're just right at the Civitai top up here. Oh, no, they're right here, attachments. Yeah, you can get them if you're not logged in too. Easy peasy. I didn't know LCM could go that high without like freaking out. Wonder why that is. It bugs after you tried 50. Your poor GPU. Oh, yeah. In that case, don't sweat the video path loader. Just use the load video upload one and do that thing that I did where you reroute it and then just plug everything that it was plugged into. Then you can use whatever you want to load the images. So just like drag the image out, make a reroute node, and then plug it into everything that the image node was plugged into, and then plug the new node into that. And then you don't have to worry about it like deleting it and then forgetting everything that it's connected to and stuff. That's another tip too. If you something I've been running into where I need this on the other side of the thing, I've started to drag it here, and I realize I can't move it over far enough. I could drop it here, make a reroute, move it to where it's got to go, and then plug it in from there. So like, yeah, reroutes are hello OP. What did I put as the prompt? A fuzzy teddy bear? It doesn't look like a fuzzy teddy bear to me, but I guess we'll just let it load, see what happens. Oh, you can do the spacebar thing when dragging a thing? Oh, what? Squirrel. How did I not know this? I didn't place the modified workflow anywhere because it's Inner Reflections workflow. I want you to go get it from Civitai and use theirs. And tip them. Just click that little tip button there when it's... Well, I'm not logged in on this one. Let me go to my other one that's logged in. I'll show you how. It's easy. You go to Civitai. You go to... Uh-oh. There we go. You go to Inner Reflections. Not models. Articles. AnimateLCM. There it is. And you just click this little button right here. And you send that tip on in. And then, yeah, you download it. It's that easy. All right. Where were we? We were 20% in. This is a lot of steps. That's amazing. Yeah, that's an amazing tip, Squirrel. Thank you. That's really cool. I'm going to be using that a lot. Does that work when you're dragging like an image in too? Oh, literally unusable. Maybe somebody could fix that. Color and nodes makes my brain less ticklish. All right. That's super cool. I will be using that trick. If I ever remember it, I will use it all the time. That's so cool. She doesn't look like a fuzzy teddy bear to me. Maybe I'm... Maybe I'm wrong. How long is this going to take, by the way? 16 gigs. 13 minutes left. Holy cow. I'm going to wait it out. I want to see. Trying to think of what we can do in the meantime. Kind of curious what it does with like a mask. We can make a mask in the meantime. Let's make a mask. I'll do a Blender speed run. Why not? Here's how you make a mask in Blender for the 438th time. Hit General. Move it around. Delete the default cube. Shift A. Create a plane. Go into that plane. Look at it. See it? It's a plane. That's our screen. Add a shader to the plane under the shader menu, material menu. Change that with this little yellow dot to an emission shader. My bad. The green dot to an emission shader. Now it's going to be emitting white light when we go to rendered mode. We'll go to Eevee. Excuse me. Oh, maybe I'm going to crash because I'm using too much VRAM. Should have thought that through. Oh, we're good. All right. Click the Show Overlays button to get rid of the overlays. Set your camera to 0. You can drag down, get rid of all this stuff. Drag down, get rid of all this stuff. Now let's turn this stuff back on so we can see our camera. Our camera's intersecting with the plane now because I just, set it to 0. So we want to move it up on the Z axis so that it's up above. It doesn't matter how above it is. It just matters that it is above because we're going to use an orthographic camera at 2, the scale of 2. That's going to give us a camera that is the exact same width and height as our canvas because our canvas, no matter what we do, we'll just make the camera, yeah, clever. So let's go. What's the resolution we could do? We want a wide one, I guess. 1920 by 1080 is fine. 1920 by 1080. All right, cool. So let's click here to go to our camera. Now we can see that our thing is centered. Everything's perfect and it's amazing and everything's great. But we don't want to see the top and bottom because the camera doesn't see it. So click on the camera settings in the camera. That's the little green guy here, the data. And then in Passepartout, crank that up to 1. Look at that. Oh my God. It's a screen. All right, so now what do? Pull this up. I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to make this a 90 frame animation so that it doesn't take 6 months to happen. And then I'm going to pull up from the bottom here until it turns a little plus. I'm going to pull that up to give myself another window. And then I'm going to make a shader editor. Okay, so here's our shader. It's an emission shader, and it's spitting it out to the material. As a result, we just have a plane and it's spitting it out, and that's great. We have light. One thing you want to do when you're making a mask is go up to the, what's this called? Render settings, color management, and change AGX to standard so that it's actually white and not, gray. All right, now, what can we do? First things first, let's add a color ramp. This is going to determine what colors and how they work. What colors are in our texture, how they work. Right now I have it set to gradient, like linear, but I actually want it constant so that it's like a hard, on and off kind of situation. And into the factor, I'm going to put a wave texture. And that wave texture will be like shutters, kind of. I'm going to hit Control T on the wave texture. It's going to give me a mapping and a texture coordinate node. If this doesn't happen, it's because you do not have a node wrangler set up. Go to Edit, Preferences. come on, brain, add-ons. Look for Node Wrangler. It's already in Blender. It's just not on by default. So just turn that on. Get yourself a Node Wrangler. And then when you click on this texture, you can hit Control T. It's going to add a texture coordinate and a mapping node. If you don't want to do all that, it's fine. You can just add these nodes manually. It's all good. We want to take our texture coordinate from the object, not the generated. So it's object. It's going to look a lot bigger, but the point of that is, if we bring the scale of our wave texture down. Okay. So this is our wave texture. If we have our thing on the generated, actually, no, you know what? Let me change this to rings and change it to Z so you can see the circle. Okay. When it's in object mode, the center of the plane is the center of the object. That's what we want. Otherwise, if we have generated, the center of the texture is actually the bottom left corner of the mesh, which is not what we want for when we're doing textures. So we plug the object into the vector. We're using the vector of the object, not the generated coordinates. Kind of nerdy, but it matters because then you get your thing to actually be centered as opposed to having to do any silly math to make it not centered. Okay, another cool thing is this is our timeline. It goes from 0 to 90. So on frame 1, we're going to set the phase offset of our wave texture to 0 by hitting I, and that creates a keyframe there. We're going to go to our last frame, and then we're going to hit the right arrow to go to the frame after it, so frame 91. And here we're going to go negative TAU, tau, negative tau, TAU. Hit enter, and hit I, not there, but mouse over the thing you're actually changing and hit I. And now this is going to go from 0 to negative 6.283, which is pi times 2, or tau. Before you do this, if you've never done this before, there's one thing I forgot to mention. Go to your preferences, and I believe it's in animation. Change your default interpolation to linear. Your default interpolation will be Bezier by default when you install Blender. This is bad. We want it to be linear. Linear goes from 0 to 1 in a linear fashion. Okay, so we hit spacebar, and what this is going to do is, because it's going from 0 to tau, it's going to perfectly loop over the course of our animation. So this mask now perfectly loops. No matter what we do to it, we change the scale, we make it all distorted, we do whatever we want, this mask is always going to perfectly loop because that phase offset is moving to pi times 2. Yeah. I can't explain the math because I'm not smart enough, but yeah, that's, we can take advantage of it. So what can I do with this? Well, I can use this as a input mask. Instead of using this, the depth map of the person, we can actually use something like this. But if we want a depth map, we don't have to generate the depth map because we can change this from a constant to an ease. And now we have a gradient. So this is a depth map. So, you can set the different types of depth map, or the different types of gradients. You can add more stops in them to add different variations and things like that. You can play around and make some really cool stuff just with colors and one texture. But another really cool thing about textures is, excuse me, sorry. Let's go back to constant, back to 50% here. Okay. Let's add a math node here. If you want to add a node, you can just drop it right on the noodle. All right. So now we added a math node. Now it's nothing because our math node is adding more. It's adding 50% to the thing. If I scroll this down, then obviously I'm going to see more of it. Scrolling up, I'm going to see less of it. This makes more sense when it's stopped. Where are we? 0. Yeah. So you see how it, across the course of the thing, is subtracting from it. We don't want to subtract the whole number from it, though. We want to subtract or add a different texture. So we got our wave texture. Let's add a Voronoi texture. We're going to give it the same mapping by plugging the vector coordinates into it. And this distance into the other one. And what that's going to do is give us a bubbles, because our Voronoi texture is this. And our wave texture is this. So our wave texture is doing this. Our Voronoi texture is staying still. And when you add them both together and slap them through the color ramp, it does this. If you wanted these to be, you know, more chill, you give them the gradient, and then ooh, we got bubbles. We can go like that. We can go like that. And we can get ourselves some really cool stuff. One thing to remember about depth maps is it usually considers the black to be the background and the white to be the foreground. So this kind of depth map will work better than the other kind for trying to make, you know, cool stuff. This one itself actually might be perfect. Yeah, I think this is enough. We don't really have to do anything. But yeah, because of the because this phase offset is the thing that's animated, you can do anything you want with anything here, and it's always going to make a perfect loop. So plug stuff in, mess around, try different things, change the settings, try to break it. You see like all this cool stuff I'm getting by just changing a couple of things and hitting it. So yeah, right. Dope. Let's get our randomness back up. Go back to maybe smooth F1. That's cool. I like the F1 better, I think. Yeah, let's get these kind of gubbly bubbly things going on. That's cool. So other thing I'd like to do when I'm doing these animations is I like to loop it twice instead of once so that I can run it at double time or half the frames, or double time at half the frames for when I'm doing iteration, and still get a perfect loop to see what it does when it loops. You don't have to do that here. We can just make a 90 frame animation. It's all good. But the way you would do that is instead of negative tau, I'm only using negative tau because that makes it comes out instead of go in. You go negative tau times 2, asterisk 2. And then that it's going to go twice as fast, but it's going to happen twice over the course of the animation. So I can, you know, I can use half the frames, things like that. I'm actually going to leave it alone because I like the speed of this. So that's fine. Temp, and I'm gonna put it in my temp folder. I'm gonna call it a comfy bubble depth, because it feels like a depth map. And it should be set. Blender is set to PNG sequences by default, and that's fine because we'll just load the PNG sequence into the thingamajig. So let's render animation, and it should just start spitting them out. Yep. And let's go back to comfy while it renders. Oh, it's done. Okay, she's turning back and forth into a fuzzy teddy bear. You weren't lying, though. Holy cow. 25 steps on LCM is insane. Jeez. We're doing the film interpolation now. I wish Comfy would add the dropped line feature. I know, me too. It's going to get rid of OpenPose because it takes too long to generate. That's crazy. Okay. Fuzzy teddy bear running through the forest. Well, it didn't turn into a fuzzy teddy bear, but that's okay. I want to try this mask now with like a graffiti or something. Yeah, it's cool though. I mean, it looks incredible. Okay, let's try. So we don't actually need to process this depth map that we just created. So that's one of the main reasons I made this redirect, is so that we don't have to plug in everything every time we want to use a different mask. So I'm going to do a load images from path. Yeah. I'm going to go to my temp folder where my comfy bubble depth is. All right, I'm going to drop that in here. And I think just for now, we'll just load... we can do the whole thing. We'll do it at double speed. And then plug that in here. And then we don't actually have to do the depth mapping for this. So we can unplug this and plug it directly into the ControlNet. And also directly into the video combined to see what it looks like. That'll be this one. All right, cool. So we can use the depth map ControlNet with a depth map that we just made. That's not really a depth map. So let's try Dream Shaper, and then we're gonna try red and blue balloons expand BALLOONS expanding the center of a delicious birthday cake. Never know. You never know. All right. I'm going to turn these steps down to 6. Yeah. Or was it 8? I think it was 8. All right. Oh, upscaler, why are you running? Oh, geez. Oh, geez. I'm going to kill Comfy. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, Inner Reflection says the idea is to do prompt editing at 8 steps and then do the final at 25. You know, obviously, because final takes so long. But still, I mean, we weren't getting this even with the 20-step stuff on before AnimateLCM, so crazy. So for this one, I'm going to try a checkpoint that's a little more like animaty and weird with things, and try to get these red and blue balloons expanding from the center of a delicious birthday cake. Might be goo, might be garbage, might be awesome. You never know. I think everything's set though. Is it running yet? Oh, we're installing stuff. What am I installing? That's not good. All right, cool. Run. Run. Oh no. What's wrong? Is it not running? Do I have to refresh? Just the one probably is good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, see? It's a perfect loop. What are you plugged into, sir? Did I plug the wrong thing in? Should this not be that? Sorry, where do you come from? I am so confused. Well, let's see what happens. Ooh, it's weird. This looks wild already. Crap, now I own Journey money. Can Sora make anime? Yeah, I don't know, right? Sora was crazy though. Sora is nuts. I'm most excited about that mixed context stuff where you're like mixing two different things together. It's so cool. Whoa, that's cool. Very cool. Right on. Well, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover tonight. This workflow works great. I highly recommend you check it out. Um, tag me on Twitter, tag me on Instagram. If you make something, you want to share it, I'd love to see it. Come on out to the Discord, come on out to the Patreon, do all the things. Come hit me on pers.xyz. Come visit. I'm going to start doing some really fun like hangouts on the Discord where we'll just make stuff together. So more of an open chat situation than just me yelling at everyone. And then, yeah, I'm going to have Olivio Sarkos on my stream really soon. We're going to do a fun hangout. He gave me a really nice shout out the other day. So big shout out to Olivio. He does so much for the AI community, and he's been just, a pillar of teach education and teaching people how to do stuff for forever. And I'm really happy that we got to link up, and he's super chill, and we're gonna work on, I don't even know what we're gonna do. We'll do whatever's exciting that day. Probably we'll dig into a workflow on Vanadoko or something and go back and forth and trade comfy tips, and you guys can come and hang out, and it'll be wicked. And yeah, I'm not sure what the date is on that yet. We're just figuring that out right now. And then on March 3rd, I believe it is, I'll be having Empress Trash on. She's a fantastic artist who uses AI in her workflows as well as a million other things. She's a lot like me in that capacity. She's a lot like me in many ways. We're both Aries. We both are very stubborn. We fight a lot. Should be fun. She's amazing, and I really love hanging out with her. So that'll be awesome. We get to see what she's been doing with AI lately. A lot of crazy like on-chain blockchain AI stuff. Really wild projects with this company called Emergent Properties. They're really cool. They do like on-chain AI diffusion stuff. Like you build, a whole workflow for making images, and then that's like a thing. And then when you mint one, it gets made from that workflow. So it's almost like generative art plus AI plus stable diffusion plus the blockchains. It's really fun, really cool. So we'll have her talk about that and everything else she's working on. And I will continue to try stuff and then show you how to do it if I can. I think I'm not sure what we'll be covering next. I'm pretty interested in all this AnimateLCM stuff. And I'm very interested in Motion Director, which lets us build our own motion models. These, I don't have one plugged in right now, but this Motion LoRA. Been hanging out with some friends who are making them, and we've been trying out some custom stuff, and it's really neat. So once I get that figured out, we'll try picking some of my GIFs or whatever and making motion masks out of them, and then use those to do text to video and stuff with IP adapters. So you're literally, dreaming on top of your own motions, which is really cool. And then you guys can learn how to train them and train your own. And hopefully we can make some huge repository of motion LoRAs soon and everybody can put their trained motion LoRAs in there, and we can all play with all the fun toys. So yeah, thanks as always for coming out and hanging out with me, and it's been really fun. And thanks to Inner Reflections for this amazing workflow. And the guide on the top is a really great way to try to understand what all this stuff is, what the differences are, and why we're using AnimateLCM now versus not. So yeah, come to the Discord, come hang out. Pers loves you. Have a great night. Hit up the Patreon if you want to support the channel. Helps keep things going. And yeah, I'll condense this episode down and throw it up probably tomorrow. All right. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you really soon. I'll probably be back on Sunday night or Monday at the latest. Okay. Bye.